We are on the lunch break in the questioning of John Grieve at the Undercover Policing Inquiry. John Grieve was director of the Racial and Violent Crime Task Force, which was set up in August of 1998, partially as a response to the Stephen Lawrence inquiry, which was just coming to the end of part 1 before the commencement of part 2. He has continued to answer questions in what appears to me to be an honest way, which is very weird. He was presented, very weird generally, I would say. He was presented with the Stephen Lawrence, the report, the Stephen Lawrence Inquiry Associated Organizations report, which a document which has been shown a few times, which goes through each of the sort of the supporting groups, including the Lawrences themselves, around the inquiry. He said that it was a ghastly document. He said that it was unfounded, it was nonsense. He got very agitated about certain elements within it. He admitted that he was briefed on it by Colin Black. He talked about a meeting he had with Colin Black, where they disagreed robustly. Where he told him that what Colin Black was briefing him on was nonsense. He said he didn't say it like that. He said it in a more forceful way. You get the impression that he certainly had no respect for the information he was being given by Black at the time. It's really unusual. I mean, obviously ACAB always, and eternally. I do not think for a moment that I'm falling for the idea that this man is somehow a paragon of virtue, not at all. However, we have, in the context of witnesses from the police at the Undercover Policing Inquiry, it is very, very strange to have someone who is willing to be critical of the police. I mean, he says, he's referred to numerous aspects of the evidence from the police as institutional racism, including that report I just mentioned. I'm joined by Evelyn Lubbers of the Undercover Research Group. What do you make of what you have to say?
Yeah, you almost wonder why this guy became a police officer in the first place and why he stayed it, because he has had a lot of shit aimed towards him. Like he's been accused of being too, going rogue, being too close to the Lawrences, and
he was actually accused of going native, which he pointed out was a neo-colonial racist term. But
yeah. I used the wrong word, but I think that what sets him apart is that he is like a reader, a thinker, an intellectual. Like you don't see that a lot. Like someone with a genuine interest or a curiosity and not wanting to form his ideas like at first sight, but just wants to know about things. And he said like several times, like, I don't need intelligence about what the Lawrence family thinks. I talk to Neville Lawrence and I'll hear it from him. It's like, like maybe in criminal cases you need intelligence and undercovers, but he didn't even want to go there. It's like, this is not the way it works. Like if you want to build up, community policing and a good sort of relationship with Black communities, you talk to them and you go and see them. It's like...
We got a glimpse into one of the closed areas of the inquiry, that of the extreme right. He said that he did receive useful intelligence, thoughtful ideas and information from the Special Branch about the extreme right. He said that included the Combat 18, the British National Party, and Nasty Neighbours. With the mind boggles, quite frankly. I mean,
there is a spectrum, like.
Well, I mean, I think the point is, or the point I was going to make on that is that, I mean, given what we know about the tactics of the SDS in terms of gathering intelligence on the extreme left, on animal rights, on anarchism, on peace movement, on anti-fascists, on so many things. Though obviously, as committed anti-fascists, we have no sympathy for the far right, and the infiltration of them by the state is, not something I'm going to cry over in any way. It should be noted that it's highly likely that there were some there were abuses of power by the SDS in the way that they did that. Obviously, there are plenty of non-aligned racists and far-right characters who are not parts of organized far-right organizations. But the suggestion that Nasty Neighbours were a target of the SDS is quite revealing, I think.
Yeah, well, we know that on the left, they spied on everybody and everyone that could possibly become a danger to the state, blah, blah, blah. So they will have done that on the right as well. But like John Grieve said, it's like he went to many meetings, all the town hall meetings all over all over London, all over the country. It's like there was always someone planning or wanting to disrupt the meeting, but that is part of a democracy. You know, it's like opinions can differ, and it's no reason to be spied on if you just have a different opinion with, you know. Yeah.
We haven't got to the end of the questioning of John Grieve. There is more to come. He will be back after lunch. Apparently, his evidence will be wound up by 3 o'clock. Then we'll hear from Bob Quick, which suggests it's going to be a very late finish today.
Yeah, we're going to do it quick.
One of the things that I found quite revealing was that when there was asked if there was going to be any further cross-examination, it appears that Oliver Saunders is his lawyer. I mean, I can only assume that is because he is presented with a designated lawyer for all the police, and he's chosen not to engage as much as to change that. But I mean, it is quite telling that a man who earlier on said that he would be, if he was ever in trouble, he would be happy he would like Imran Khan to represent him. He had nothing but respect for Imran Khan. He spoke earlier as well about the respect he had for Michael Mansfield, how much he'd learned. He actually said that half an hour of cross-examination, it was 3 hours of cross-examination by Michael Mansfield at the Old Bailey, was worth 3 months of training at Detective College, which I think says a lot. But yeah, so I mean, the fact that he's it suggests that he hasn't actually engaged that deeply in any sort of preparation if he's got Oliver Saunders as his lawyer. As I'm of the opinion that Oliver Saunders doesn't really do that much work and is a dreadful lawyer.
Well, Grieve doesn't need a lawyer to prepare, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like, I mean, because it's only been short sessions each time, we've just had an hour at a time before having the 15-minute break. I feel like we've covered the majority of things. I mean, he was taken through the reports, and he used so many superlatives to say how ghastly, how appalled he was by them, how disgusted. He was really upset about the reference to Jerry Gable, him formerly of Searchlight, now deceased. The claim that he was campaigning for the commissioner to resign and be replaced by himself, by John Grieve's.
So that's total nonsense.
Yeah.
I knew him. I considered him a friend, and he would never do that. So.
Yeah, he was quite upset about that.
Yeah.
And then there was a few things within it, particularly references to the Vicky Reel campaign, the Lawrence family, to Sugat Reel herself, which he seemed genuinely appalled by. Yeah, again, I mean, just showing himself to appear remarkably human, which is not the norm at this inquiry. We are not used to seeing police witnesses who are human.
First witness of the state, of the police, that is like this, that tells you something about the police and the way they look at this inquiry. They're all very much like either denying everything that's put to them or have forgotten it, or they're very much on the defensive, and John Grieve's not.
Yeah, I mean, thanks for everybody who's liking, sharing these videos. It makes a huge difference how visible things are. There was some media yesterday following the appearance of Paul Condon. There was an article in The Guardian. There was a news item on BBC, Channel 4 News. And the
Counterfire. There was an article in Counterfire.
I know, yeah.
Well. Yeah.
Anything else?
No.
Thanks for joining. The only we're back to today, where I'm afraid after yesterday's packed public gallery, it's largely empty. The only way you're going to be able to follow what's happening is by following this coverage. So please continue to do so. Please share with friends and comrades who might find it interesting.
Buy Tom a coffee.
Yeah, please feel free to support my work. It's the only kind of support that makes this possible. All right. Anything else to add?
No.
Bye for now. See you this afternoon.